As requested, I want to share with you how you can program NFC tags to run shortcuts automatically or open any URL link. And so let's dive right into it. Programming shortcuts onto NFC tags are especially easy on Apple devices and iPhones because iPhones come pre-installed with this shortcuts application. And so the first thing you'll want to do is just open your shortcuts application and then go to the shortcut that you want to add to the NFC tag. And if you're not familiar with the shortcuts application already, let me know in the comments below and I will try to make a video explaining how to use shortcuts on your iPhone and write the shortcuts. But in this video, we're going to assume that you already know a little bit about the shortcut app. So in this example, we're going to use my Josh Groban cassette shortcut. So I'll open that up so we can look at what it is really fast. The first thing that I have this shortcut do is vibrate my device. I like to do that anytime I am writing a shortcut for an NFC tag because that lets me know that I've scanned it successfully and I don't have to keep trying to scan the NFC tag. The next thing I have it do is find any music in my library where the artist is Josh Groban and then play the music. Pretty straightforward. And so we'll go back out of that. And now we want to program that onto our NFC tag. So the first thing you want to do is go down to automations and then press the plus icon at the top and scroll down to NFC. And then it prompts you to scan an NFC tag. So I'll press scan and bring this NFC tag close. And then it wants me to name the tag. I'll name it Josh Groban. Josh Groban, capitalized for this example. And then you have two options to either run this shortcut immediately or run it after confirmation. I like to run it immediately because I usually don't need to confirm that I scanned the NFC tag because I usually have to go out of my way a little bit to scan the NFC tag anyway. And then I do like to have it notify me when the shortcut is run. So I'll press next. And then it brings you to your library. I'll go to my shortcuts and select the shortcut that we want. And in this case, it's the Josh Groban cassette. So I'll click that. And then you can see in my list of automations that I have when you scan the Josh Groban, which is what I named this NFC tag, then it will play Josh Groban cassette shortcut. And so let's go ahead and try this out. One thing I want to point out is that due to legal restrictions and things like that, when I'm screen recording on my phone, it won't actually play the audio out loud for the shortcut, but I'll show you that it's working. So I'll go ahead and scan this. It vibrated and popped up Josh Groban detected, so it's running the automation. And then down here you can see that Oh Holy Night is playing. So I'll go ahead and pause that. Now you may have noticed I also had a link to Spotify pop up. So how did I do that? And why did I do that? First thing is that it's a little bit more complicated when you want other people to be able to scan your shortcut and it works on their phones as well. And so you can't really do that. The first method that you can do is if a friend has an Apple device, then you can go ahead and just share your shortcut with them. So press share on the shortcut and then you can share it with them, have them download the shortcut and program the NFC tag on their phone the same way. However, that's not always an option because not everybody has an Apple phone or wants to download your shortcuts and set that. And so I always like to have another link, especially to my music NFC tags. And so the way you do that is through an app called NFC Tools. So I'll open that application. And we're kind of going to go reverse order here because where I already have the link written on here, we're going to go ahead and delete it. So I'm going to press other and erase tag. So I'm going to erase that link off of this tag by just scanning it. Okay, so now if I scan the tag, it will start my automation, but the other link to Spotify is not going to show up. Okay, now if we want it to show up, then we can press write and add a record, and then you can pick from this big long list of things that you want written directly onto the tag. In this case, we're going to do a URL, but this is also where I've used the unit link and things like that to share my socials. Okay, we'll press add a URL record, and then it wants us to paste a URL. I like to use a Spotify URL for music because I found that most of my friends have Spotify and not all of them have Apple Music, but you can do this with any link. And so I'll go to share Josh Groban and copy the link. And it says the link is copied to the clipboard. Perfect. And then I'll go back out of Josh Groban just so we know for next time. So if I go back into the add a record, I can paste that Josh Groban link right into here, press check, and you can see right here that the URL is added. So now I can just press write and scan the NFC tag, and it just wrote that link directly onto the tag. So now every time that I scan the tag, it will run the automation for myself, but then if anyone else is scanning the tag, it will open up this Spotify link that you can click on, and it brings you to Josh Groban, where there you can start playing his music. Yeah, I hope that helped. And if you found any value in this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Since this channel is in its very early stages, I would appreciate any subscriptions that I can get to grow the channel. Thank you so much and have a great day.